Hello and welcome to a morning review. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 8th of December. Okay, looking at the euro dollar first, and as you can see on Friday we ended up with quite a large sell-off day. We're now selling yet once again. You're seeing this morning, this current period, we're seeing the euro dollar just coming off some more, breaking some prior lows here, short-term lows. Now we do have some upside targets which are not that far away, but certainly we got the weekly pivot up here, we got the daily pivot, so we've got some points that the price may just want to find a bit of support and move up for a day, maybe more. We have today the Euro group meetings, which means that we could have volatility in the market as the speakers speak at any point. Now this could be good or bad for the euro, so there's no obvious signs what could actually happen here, but there may be some that try and talk it up a little bit. Others quite like it probably around its current levels, but there is a chance that at some point today we could break Friday's low and continue in a downward action. As I say, looking weak at the moment, that's for sure. If we come down to the hourlies here, not really setting us too much up. I've actually put on a little trend line there. If it does break for that, we could see it pushing up back, as I say, towards the daily pivot. Alternatively, we've already hit those prior lows. We're sitting around those prior lows at the moment. Really looking at probably Friday's lows if it starts really. I mean, at the moment I can't really be too bullish. I'm a bit torn at the moment because of the price action that we've seen, and we could see a reversal at this time in the morning. It quite often happens, so I'm sort of sitting and waiting for a bit of obvious direction at the moment. Looking at the pound dollar, things aren't too dissimilar here. Let's just start on the bigger time frames, but the only difference is, well, so no, we did actually go through the lows on Friday. It just broke out through those prior lows. Now we could continue in this mode, of course, but again we've got two sets of pivots above us which may have a reasonable chance of being hit. We are well down at the moment. Looking from a 60-minute point of view, again I've drawn the trend line on here. Whilst it's in this sort of free fall zone, there's not too much I can do with it because it's already gone, and it's maybe look at some fresh shorts, but it needs a decent retrace. It's now sort of, as I say, sitting in this sort of free fall sort of choppy sort of zone, and it makes it very difficult because at this time of the morning it can reverse quite quickly. And as I say, we've got some targets above us which I would be looking at to see if they get hit. Again, looking at around that 156.15 area. Okay, let's have a look at the dollar yen. Now the dollar yen, well, there was some negative news that came out with the GDP figures. It's not really overly reflected in that, but all the same, we've seen this sort of surge upwards. Yet again, it's now coming out. It's gone through that 120 zone. It's coming out of the range where a lot of the industrialists in Japan would really like it to be, and corporate bosses. It's starting to get somewhat oversold, effectively, the yen, as we're moving up here, and it could start now creating knock-on effects, which could be quite detrimental. So in itself, that may cause it to weaken further. As I say, we've already seen the GDP figure come out bad throughout the Asian session. Now we have some downside targets. I've not purposely not been shorting the dollar yen over this period, over the last for some time now. I prefer to be on the opposite side. The downside risk the trading to the downside is too risky for me. As we get these sort of sudden surges, and they're quite solid. Okay, with some of these are news based, but even so, you'll see more surges to the upside than you'll see coming to the downside at the moment on this, and it's for me to either trade on the long side or not at all. Okay, and there is a possible break here and a push back up and the continuation, and yes, it could be missing some key levels there, but it may just go. Looking at the Aussie dollar, another one that's been hammered. China released some quite a big trade surplus, although its trading has reduced significantly both sides in terms of exports and imports. The imports more so than the exports, and now of course the exports are hitting countries like Australia. So it's once again taking quite a sell-off during the Asian session there. We've not got any gaps. It managed to fill the gap through the session, but there is some potential at some point it could move back and see a bounce, but at the moment I find it difficult to buy into this. I need to really have drawn a trend line on the hourly chart here for what I really need to see broken perhaps first, unless there's some really nice signal. There is a bit of divergence maybe into that S2 area, which could just hold it up a little bit here, and we may see some action from it, but even so, it may be safer to wait for this to work its way through it out a little bit and see if it does manage to get back to across the trend line for the targets sitting at about 83.41ish. Okay, that's it for me. There's, as I say, the only real significant news today is the euro. There is some minor data coming out, but I can't see that causing any significant movements. Okay, hope you have a great one. Bye for now.